Hi, this is Rick Julian, author of The Way, and this is a commentary on verse 1. Words will not bring you to me. In this phrase, as in many of the phrases throughout The Way, we are asked to humble ourselves and to put ourselves in a state of mind in which we surrender to the ineffable, to this understanding that there are things beyond our comprehension. There's this idea that the watch cannot comprehend the watchmaker, and we are invited in this first phrase to put ourselves in the position of the watch and surrender to what we cannot do. Words themselves are unsuitable for many things in our lives. When our son was born, I was there throughout the entire process, but there is no way I could ever use words to describe the feelings, the emotions, and the thoughts that I had. I could go on and on and on and try to use words, but I would never truly be able to grasp the fullness of what that experience was. It is impossible. It is as impossible to do that as it is impossible to truly communicate the grandeur of a sunrise. This is not a commentary on our lack of intelligence. It is not a commentary on the weakness of language. It is just a commentary that there are things that are greater than us and greater than our language. And that the first step to begin approaching those things, those concepts, is to surrender ourselves to that reality. A named thing becomes real. I cannot be named. Trying to grasp the Tao through language is as futile as trying to hold the wind or the sky. It defies category. It has no width. It has no height. It has no depth. It has no form, no color, no temperature. It possesses no characteristics, and therefore it cannot be named. It cannot be made real. We cannot concretize it with our concepts and our language. Desire is blindness. Leave it, and you will find me. This speaks to the power of having but not holding. And this is a concept that is frequently repeated throughout the verses of the Tao Te Ching, throughout the Way. When we desire something, we want to grasp it, to hold it, to possess it. Speaking as a man, and I think back to my earlier days as a young man, so smitten by the beauty of a young woman. The desire, yes, even carnal desire, physical desire of wanting to have and to hold and to feel and to experience another person with great intimacy is a very, very powerful, powerful impulse. But that carnal impulse, if you can relate to that, of really, really wanting someone, that carnal impulse for desire is no greater than what we humans have for this connection to a power that is greater than us. Throughout all history, it is documented in all the religions of the world, in all the literature of those religions, this yearning, this never-ending yearning for connection, for understanding that the nature of what is greater than us. It is an eternal longing, that desire for understanding and connection. But we cannot possess it. Our minds cannot possess it. We cannot grasp it, no matter how much we desire. In the way we talk about the power of keeping an open hand. Imagine a small bird sitting in one's hand. It is there, and there is a desire to want to hold it. But if the harder you hold it, the more you threaten it. So we must become comfortable with keeping our palm open for that bird to sit when it wants to sit and to leave when it wants to leave. That is the freedom that the Tao requires from us. That is the lack of attachment that the Tao requires for us. It is not a constant awareness that we can have. A constant communion is not possible. We have these glimmers, these glints, flashes of awareness that enter our mind like that bird sits in our open hand. And we must keep it open for it to arrive, and we must keep our hand open and be comfortable with it needing to leave us when it does. So when we eliminate this blindness that desire will provoke in us, when we keep our hands open, our minds are open, our eyes are open to seeing what will be revealed to us. The final phrase is, your path begins in the deepest shade of darkness, where questions and answers whisper. Again, we are asked to come in a spirit of humility, to enter into this space of unknowing, of darkness. That is what will keep us open to becoming illuminated within this darkness, to becoming illuminated with insight and understanding. This does not happen all at once. There's a Japanese term called satori, which for me has always represented almost a thunderclap of awareness, of insight, of understanding. And I've had a few of those moments throughout my life. And they are overwhelming in and of themselves. Again, I get lost in no words were I to try to tell you what those moments of satori have been like. One of them for me was this awareness that hit me all at once, that everything is everything, that the micro is the macro, that there is an endless progression and regression throughout the universe. All things are connected to one another. That awareness, even as I have framed it just now, is a very feeble expression of what hit me in a most powerful way. And it really doesn't the words don't even begin to do justice to that sense of awe that I felt in that moment, in that awareness. Yet that awareness is just a very small awareness of what is truly available to us. And so we must be patient. We must not be greedy to think that we are going to gain understanding and gain a perception, however slight, of the Tao all at once. It arrives piecemeal. It arrives, this awareness that we have and this understanding that we can begin to approach, although we never get there fully, but it begins to accumulate like drops of rain accumulate to form this endless ocean. And if we resign ourselves to the reality that it will arrive in drops rather than buckets or waves, that kind of humility, that kind of patience is what will enable us to attain the most insight that we can in the time that we are given in our lives. So, even in this long explanation of a very simple verse, I think we begin to understand that I will tell you that even though these are the words that I have written as my understanding of the Tao has been filtered through me, I don't begin to feel that I have begun to adequately express this idea that I set out to. But I hope I've given it enough shape and enough contour that it resembles something that you can understand. Ultimately, my goal in these commentaries is to provide you with the kind of information that you need to be able to proceed through some of the gates that inhibit our understanding. And among those gates are the idea that we can use our intellect to approach the Tao. We cannot. That we can use our language and our mind to approach the Tao. We cannot. It is about mindlessness, wordlessness. We cannot grasp it with our intelligence. It is about humbling ourselves to be as empty a vessel as we can to receive as much as we can in whatever small increments we are available to receive it. I wish you peace, and I will see you in the second commentary.